Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Project Remix's competitive scrims, where I basically take competitive games that have happened in the past, I look at them and I kind of break down the theory between what teams do and how they play and everything. I am glad to see that the reception was so received on the previous video of these that I did. I enjoy doing these, so we are back with another one of these. Now this one, to give you a bit of context, this is a slightly older game. This is from a previous patch, and it is, from what I know, this is the patch right before Stormveil was added. So, and this is before the whole armory update and everything. So, it's probably going to be, if we see Barrier Shield, it will probably be just normal Banhammer. So it'll be normal Banhammer plus Barrier Shield, or it will be like Catapult, probably, with Barrier Shield. Alternatively, we might see Fists with that. But yeah. And so far from what I know about both teams is that both of these are two teams that are very good in, I believe, the quote that was told to me was that these are two teams that are very good in like TDM contexts. One moment, please. Yeah, these are two teams that do very well in objective, more specifically zone control and TDM modes. So this first match, which is Subspace, will probably be a bit worse showing from each one of them, but we will see. Anyways, let's get started.
Right, there we go.
You do.
Oh, okay, this one's
Okay, so
66
Alright.
minutes.
first off, yep. Okay,
Guys,
so we have Slam,
uh,
Banhammer Slam, we have Casting Staff, we have Slingshot, and we have,
set your team
I do not know what this weapon is.
to team 1, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an Epic Sauce. Okay, Epic Sauce, interesting. In this map, it does make sense there, as you can see here. This section right here, heavy choke point. This entire area here is a choke point. This entire area here is a choke point from this upper section. Basically, there's a lot of thin corridors.
I think I already
on
did.
this map, which is shipping docks. Yep. Aside to that, this is the Banhammer Barrier Shield I was talking about. Both teams are running Barrier Shield.
We see the six Leprechaun band.
On the other team, we have Magician's Top Hat. We have Paint Bucket. We have another
Hammer.
Barrier Shield.
Yep.
Judgment Blade. Someone is running Judgment Blade, and they managed to get a kill.
Oh my days,
what-
Judgment Blade
what
goes
fifth
in.
player?
Wow, no, actually, hold on. They managed to get a hit on multiple.
Banhammer.
people with that.
Where's the 5th
Yep.
player?
Yeah, as you can see here, yeah, it just cut through it cut through that shield there.
Oh my
What-
days,
what-
Judgment
what-
Blade.
And I'm pretty sure they sent out a star fragment, star frag plus top hats M2, and that
What
just
fifth
destroyed
player?
another player.
And they are
Yeah,
popping
Staff
that
of Life
off
is
right
almost
now.
dead,
It
and
is only
Banhammer's
two of
trying
them
to control the
left.
point,
That is-
but
Yo, they
are barely
fucking-
holding on. Blue team is already coming.
And
is
they
starting
decided to
this at a bit of loss.
spawn on the opposite
Six
side.
Slippery just
Yeah, no, they
barely,
completely
like,
lost
he's-
this
no, he's-
section. Now, bad news is here, they're gonna have to filter in, and because of the way the shipping docks is set up, if they have explosive weaponry, which I'm pretty sure the Epic Sauce technically does count as it. Epic Sauce technically an explosive weapon, but realistically it just plays like a flanker weapon
dead. Wow.
with a lot of AOE.
Oh,
Yep.
dude.
Stars
no,
dead,
no good for Six
air.
Paint, Epic Sauce gets shredded by Paint Bucket.
Getting
And as you
slammed.
can see here, yeah, they have total control over this area. Paint Bucket actually helps with this a lot because of the paint speeding up you and your team. It also reveals anybody who's there. It basically puts anyone who walks onto the area at an immediate disadvantage. And it also pretty much prevents any kind of like, it prevents blue from like grouping up and snowballing and trying to do like a bunching up and trying to push forward, because if they manage to pick off one of their members, the paint explosion is gonna absolutely shred the rest of them and do a chain explosion.
Who's their 4th player?
So
Yeah, they
Yeah, as you can see,
as you can see, yeah, blue here is trying to do a assault from
I think Zone has only 4 players.
Is this
oh, they're
Where
playing
is it? This is on the wrong team?
Okay.
Oh,
Set
hold on.
team.
Okay, there, I gotcha.
Oh my
Okay, so
God.
it seems like there was a bit of mismanagement and someone was on the wrong team.
Are we gonna reset the round?
But yeah, as you can see there, actually, this is what I'm
There, I
talking about.
gotcha.
Paint Bucket. Paint Bucket goes off, or Paint Bucket gets or Banhammer, which was afflicted by paint, gets killed. Explosion immediately takes the slingshot, or no, it was the support. It was the Epic Sauce and the Staff of Life here. They're immediately down to 10 or 5% of their health,
Oh my
and then
God.
it's just clean up, kill,
That's
and it just shreds them. Oh, so they're running dual rock DRL on red.
Yeah.
That's a smart choice.
Uh,
And they're resetting it because yeah, they had the wrong members on the teams. Okay, here we go. This should be the right thing.
in,
Okay.
Or
in 30 seconds.
wait, can someone like in the
All
stream,
right,
like,
we're
actually-
starting. We're starting. By the way,
All
So,
right,
proper
we go.
first match this time.
finally.
red team
Um,
spawns all in the little corner.
This time they're running catapult, which is the one where you throw the hammer instead of slam. I think
Over here.
catapult makes a bit more sense here, mainly to pair and to trip enemies. Or tripping it's like a mini stun. The mini stun that you get can let a slingshot land a very strong headshot or just a charged shot, and it also gives the Epic Sauce time to dash in and
They have
secure
5
kills.
players.
Or if you can coordinate with the Epic Sauce, they can flank, and the moment that you get you land the hammer throw, because you can then push in with shield
This-
and create a bit of space, and so they can flank in, pick off anyone who's
Players this time.
Wow.
disrupted, and then go
Six
from there.
literally playing.
Okay. Epic
able to
Sauce
play
is going from
from the
above,
hospital.
and as you can see here, as I said before, Epic Sauce is a flank weapon. They're playing from behind,
dives
and they're
into
trying
their
to
team.
go for
He said barely though.
that.
Dish is gonna die here. No, just barely.
Okay.
into their team.
So they've changed
He
their
said
setup a
barely,
bit. They
though.
are running
Oh.
skateboard
Dish is gonna
instead
die here.
of I
No,
don't
just
know
barely
what.
gets out. Damn.
But yeah, no, skateboard doesn't
You
make
see, we
it.
got double.
Banhammer
Hey,
backs
quick
up,
gets the point first.
and yeah, ooh, so the top hat, I think. you see
Dives
here.
into their team.
He said barely though.
Yeah, as you can see here, the top hat with the comment went up here, which means that they're gonna pester the back end of this blue team here,
Dish is
and you
gonna
can see
die
that's exactly
here.
what happens.
No, just barely
Oh no, actually, I'm pretty sure it was these guys that got it.
gets out. Damn.
As you can see here, they drop down with a fully charged jumpment.
You see we got
Judgment Blade
double
just
tap.
cut
Hey,
through
quick gets
Blue Team's
the
health.
point first, and they don't push it
And then because of paint bucket,
far
it's
at
a chain
all. That's
explosion
gonna
that
be a
just
giant bear.
the chain explosion just absolutely
Barrier
cuts
for
through
red
any health
team.
bar they
Actually,
have.
no,
One of
that
the
they
blue
have
team did
three.
manage to get away.
Dude,
It's
the
a
sun is
shot, I
work-
believe. Actually, I'm gonna lower this.
It's on
Barely,
Barry Link,
yeah.
Link Sword. Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks,
EP has 3 tanks.
I wonder why they keep choosing.
Ooh, okay, another Judgment Blade on that is the
Not
tank,
bad,
I
it's
believe.
sick.
But they managed to no, that was a skateboard, but
And
they had the
what
staff
are
of
their
life
supports?
helping
They
them.
have a top hat.
Interesting.
What else do they have?
It's interesting to see how the teams are playing here. Red is going for more area control focused team with top hat and paint bucket and everything. It's very much like zone of influence. Basically, they have like an area around them. If you move into which, I suppose, for visual purposes, what they do is that they set up an area around them, and they're basically telling the enemies, if you walk inside this zone, you are dead. Outside the zone, okay, well, you might stay alive, but inside this zone, you're just gonna get shredded. And blue is going for a much more traditional, just like generalist team comp slash. Actually, that's a lie. They're not going for generalist team comp. They're going for a dive slash flank team comp, as you can see with the Epic Sauce and the no, that's the slingshot. The skateboard isn't on screen here, but what it's doing is that basically they're forcing with catapult and the staff of life helping the banhammer. They're basically waiting to land the catapult, and when they land the catapult, they can take advantage of that to put somebody in an inconvenient situation, and then they have the 2 flankers dive on them, shred them, and then get out. Which, if done correctly, as you can see right here, so you have the Epic Sauce putting pressure on everything. Skateboard backs out here, and the skateboard dives back in. And actually, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Red has this entire zone, which is pretty much right here under lock and key. So blue's not trying to focus on that. What blue's doing is blue's pulling away red's attention. So as you can see here, we have the banhammer, which is drawing the attention from barrier shield. So barrier shield is focusing on the banhammer because banhammer is a much bigger threat here, and loses sight of the and also there's a slingshot here, loses sight of 1, their ally, and 2, the skateboard. And as you can see here, skateboard went over here, ducked in here, and zooms back out here, and is going for their low health teammate. And normally this teammate would be fine because the other banhammer Red's Banhammer could jump in front and protect them, but they can't because they're currently busy dealing with the slingshot and Blue's Banhammer, in which
Judgment.
then lets the skateboard get a kill,
I think it's
and now the
just
skateboard
top.
can pair with everybody else. And yep, Epic Sauce here is coming from behind and is going for that
Face circle. What the
fire damage.
hell?
Looks like EP
Unfortunately,
face circle.
I'm pretty
already
sure
comes out-
Red popped
Oh,
face
which is
circle.
interesting.
Yeah,
What?
they did, which negates a bit of all of this prep work that Blue did.
Being the only
They lose damage.
being the
like,
only support
it
in the
heals
team
all of
allows
them
you to
up. Staff
farm
of
a lot
life
of
goes
rune
down.
decks,
Okay, yeah, Blue
especially
just
when you have like
gets
3
completely
tanks.
dismantled.
That's
That is true.
crazy.
Okay, but as you can see here, Blue is going for like a dip in and out type of strategy,
It's
which is definitely effective if
looks
they're
like
doing it right,
EP's
as you can
team
Are
see
they-
here.
wait.
However, I think they really need to
I
rework
think
for this
they're-
to
I
work.
think
They
they're
can't
two
just dive
barriers.
one in after another. You can't do that in general in Project Remix, but especially against such an area control heavy composition on Red's team, this is just
Only
asking
one
for death.
barrier.
Now they do manage to get a good
Just running the other
hit
barrier.
on
I think it's
someone.
Dish.
Oh, okay. Blues popped hyper laser.
Okay.
Um,
That's
3
an interesting
and
choice. Skateboard barrier.
okay, so they got 2
maybe
heavy
I bet-
laser
maybe I
kills,
was-
and what that
That's an
does is that
interesting
lets the
choice,
skateboard
skateboard barrier.
go and clean up the
Or
kills.
maybe maybe I was tweaking.
Especially, they also threw down
Like
the
I was-
poison mist.
oh, did-
You can't really see it because of bitrate. Thank you, YouTube. Wonderful times, but
Damn, look at that.
point is,
I think they're just running their default skateboard.
Okay.
Loadout.
so let's see how Blue handles a
They
red
got
push.
the barrier though. Oh, that's nice.
And
like they're
from what I'm
good
seeing so
against
far,
it,
red
2%,
is
but
mostly
again,
they're gonna collapse in once the
Yeah.
barrier falls,
the fact that they
and
get
that's
locked
exactly what they do. They were
2%,
they're prepping from different angles. You have the tank and the support up here. I think that's the support. I could be mistaken.
but again,
Yeah, that's not the support.
Yeah.
You have the paint bucket here, and then you
the
have
fact that
someone pop comment.
they get locked
or comment to drop
25
in, go for a backline support here.
but again,
There's a lot of things going on, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna loop through this a few times. So
the fact that they
I think that's
Yeah,
the
locked
DRL who's going in for the backline, and you can see the rest of the red team just kind of collapses in
25% until
and splits up
both
blue
teams
here.
get past it.
And
Coming out from
now blue's doing a very they
It's not
popped
like
Sensible
they're
Katana.
very
I
he
see.
is
That's why.
lagging
really good.
so much.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, dear.
I was a bit curious as to why Blue suddenly flipped around what would be a absolute stomp
Oh.
against them,
He is
but
getting
it's
them
because they popped a very strong area control
Yeah, that was a
remix.
good.
though. Shit, yeah, Burb.
Tank is
Distracting
almost
Bird's
dead.
like
regrouping
Epic
over
Sauce
here.
is trying to pick him off,
Bird's
but
One of the Judgment Blade.
he hits that, and this is where Red's advantage, especially with Paint Bucket and
Bird's
Top
like
Hat here,
regrouping
comes
over
into
here.
play. As you can see here, they just have this entire area. Not only do they have this entire area painted, but they can just control this hallway and this rooftop here with Paint Bucket and Top Hat. And as you can see, the moment someone tries to go
Bird's
going
in
over the
here, they just get
Judgment
chunked
Blade.
down by all of Blue's burst damage, and then it just
It's
kill on
deals so
Dish.
much damage to the rest of them. Now Blue is doing a good time.
Oh my
is
gosh.
doing
Face circle
decently
coming
here.
out
Ish.
again.
The Staff of Life
Again.
gets ambushed, and
He's on track.
they leave. And
Trying
the
to get, like,
tank
6.
is pretty much dead here. Yeah, they get picked off. It seems like Blue has gone
Oh, they did
Slipknot,
not have
and I am guessing that
How is that
is
point not
instead of
captured, though?
whatchamacallit. They traded.
stolen?
No, they still have Slingshot.
Oh,
Are they?
and
Are
now
they?
it's-
Oh, they.
They're,
Oh
like,
wait, they're
not
waiting
trying
for
to
the
reach it.
25%.
Yeah.
They're waiting. This is the
Yeah, okay, they
subspace
got it, they
meta.
got it.
The
That's-
subspace
that's
meta.
Okay, I think Red was waiting
That
for
is-
them to hit 25%. So, if they hit 25%, that means that Red, if they push again, they can break past 25% and get even more percentage,
Oh my god,
which
they
would give them a huge lead. And if they can get a good push and perhaps even a well-timed ultimate remix, it would let them absolutely clear.
they learned that you
However, Blue, I think either intentionally or unintentionally didn't
don't
let it
have
Oh, they
happen.
actually, like,
As you can see, it says 24%. It technically says 24% there. So, they can't pull it off.
right now.
Which is
Oh,
fine. It does
Don't
mean
push
that
too
Blue will
far.
push here.
Don't push too far.
they're gonna push it. They're gonna push it.
But yeah, as you can see, Red is taking
25.
Honestly,
taking
yeah,
advantage of
they're-
the area control
They're
here.
be,
point here.
I think they're gonna hopefully they regroup because Dish.
Okay.
That's
The
dude,
point of even
Skateboard
going
is doing some
Yeah,
work,
this is gonna
but
die.
Skateboard is caught out with any
Yeah.
kind of support,
Right.
and it really, really does need support.
22, 23, 24. They got the lead.
25.
25.
Okay,
Alright.
they're suddenly
And
out of
I,
the lead.
I think Namdu Quit probably has some remixes to
Yep. Oh,
get the point
oh,
here.
yeah.
Push it all the
Okay.
way back.
so
Yeah, for
Power
sure.
has a remix right now.
there we go. As we can see here, this is Blue's strategy of splitting up Red team,
That's
and
strategy. one or Darkside Judgment. Very nice. Dish very
Oh,
low.
I mean, they're having a
Hyper
bit of
coming.
no. They
Yeah,
actually
they're
did
coming
manage
out.
to
We see
Execute
Storm
execute
ban
pretty
him.
well. Admittedly, I will admit, yes, they had the advantage of a hyper laser gun, but still, hyper laser only works if
Dish
you
is
have a good
Very
position to
low.
use
Oh,
it.
Hyper coming.
And that's exactly what
again.
happened here is that they split up right in a way that they weren't grouped up together. Each one was handling their own battles, and that lets the
Coming
hyper
out.
laser
We see
just
Storm
get
ban-
pure value
ban him?
because it can just pick off people, and they're too distracted to get into cover, use defensive ability, move, etc., etc.
Let's
Gets
do
a
it.
solid amount of them.
The Epic Sauce
Both their tanks
is having a bit of
notably,
the
though.
difficulty, I'm noticing. It might just be the Epic Sauce because
That
Myth
Barrett
coming
Epic
going
Sauce is
down
a
bad.
weak weapon, which it is. It's very situational in
They're
its
not able
usage,
to deal with the people on the top.
and it really needs a lot of support
Yeah,
and
those-
a
barely.
very skilled player to make it work effectively.
Are they gonna get
Oh,
the lead here?
Whiff on
There we go.
Judgment.
They
Nice.
coming out.
yes, this is Blue's game plan coming into effect perfectly here. So technically, what we have here is a really good distribution by Red. They have this front line here. They have this upper pressure here. If Blue wants to push it any farther, they're going to be under assault, not only from a paint bucket but from the other person here. And if they try to move forward, they've got a Judgment Blade over here that's ready to just slam down and attack anybody who's moving the cart forward here. However, Blue
Blue
gets around this by not only isolating one of the members. They isolate a member of Red, which forces
They're gonna.
the paint bucket and the other players
Are
to
they
jump down, and they
Oh,
take
yeah.
advantage of this by.
Judgment.
I think they popped a Fairy Belt ultimate, but they also use their various abilities to split up the team even more.
They
They
coming
get
out from
they get a bow kill, and then the Epic Sauce goes and
See.
hunts down the last
Oh.
person, which Epic Sauce is good for because the secondary fire gives you a huge boost in movement speed.
Ooh,
They
wise
do
from-
get the lead.
From blue team.
nice. This
No
is
one here to
great
contest.
advantage.
Myth going in.
Really useful.
Big
Okay,
slam.
so the Banhammer's
Oh,
trying to
doesn't
go
get the
for
follow-up.
an early pick, just can't
Oh,
do it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
not
it's
pushing the
just
card
slow.
though.
Now
Oh,
Red
yeah.
is grouping up again here, and this is where
Oh, Judgment
Big
coming
Judgment
in.
Blade.
Ooh.
Damn.
no.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh,
She's
nice
gonna die
comment
here.
there.
Oh no,
Derp-
Red.
derpy.
Okay, so this is actually one of the huge perks of Paint Bucket,
Major slam.
which
Oh,
is the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
that whatchamacallit.
Push the
The
card
paint
away.
lasts for a while. It's not just the moment that you hit it, which means
Oh,
that, as you can
Judgment-
see here,
Big
Coming in.
Judgment Blade.
Ooh.
Damn.
this is the dual rocket launchers,
Ooh,
which is running around
gonna
here,
die here.
is taking advantage of this and manages to get a kill. Actually, hold on. Okay, no, there
Turpy
wasn't
dies.
actually a paint explosion, but still, it does mean that
Oh,
it
yeah,
does
yeah,
make
push
the
the
DRL move
card away.
faster, from what I know
Oh,
about Paint
Judgment
Bucket.
Big
coming in.
Judgment
Ooh.
Blade. Damn.
So we
Yep.
have the barrier
Oh,
shield
nice.
here
Die
holding
here.
them off. We have a I believe this is a poison mist here.
Turpy died.
And yeah, Red just has so much area
Right,
denial
Ooh, all of
in
them.
form of
Yeah,
its
they take
weapons and its
backhand,
abilities
Yeah, they get the
that
point here.
Air died.
the aerial judgment blade. Oh my god, that is
Yeah.
pure flex.
Terrible.
Yep.
Here they go.
And Red gets it back.
2 minutes left.
So you got 2 minutes here. Blue just needs to push it 1% to be tied. 1% to be tied, and then they have another 25% for
Crimson coming
bonus
out.
Ooh,
Crimson
score.
coming
Crimson
out.
coming in though.
Turpy.
And
That's
let's
gonna-
see how
I'm
this
not
is.
seeing
Gets the
Oh.
barrier, but he dies.
Unfortunately, on Blue, they get caught with the bubble, which pushes you and puts you out of position because you have collision with the bubble. Unfortunate.
He dies for it.
Yeah.
This is going to
Yeah.
cost them
Unfortunately, can't capitalize on it then.
a lot, actually. It's
Yeah,
going to
that
cost them
boomerang
Coming
didn't
about
out.
get anybody.
10,
Oh, it just barely
11.
doesn't hit IZ.
Yeah, so far it's
But
costing them
it's a-
about 20 seconds to get the whole
Kill.
team get back up and
They're having
everything.
a very.
But yeah, as you can see here,
shield
Red is
flash,
just at a pure
but-
advantage. They have this entire area under
Except it's
lock.
running-
Anytime any member of Blue
The
moves in,
dry-
they just take so much damage from their teammates dying and from the amount of damage that Red can
Well,
True
output.
Comet
Turpy's going
Judgment
back to
Blade.
zero.
No one's trying
Oh.
to.
Yeah,
Struggling to
and
get on
Blue
the
just
point
gets
though.
cut down.
They're
They've
gonna-
lost
it's
about 20 seconds, and now
they
they have to
go
regroup all
really
the way
low.
They
again.
need to hold it before they can take the lead again.
But they do have the advantage here. The two of Red's
Well, they
members
still have a
are
minute. They
alone
can
here, so
totally
they can go for a pick
Take
here.
this back with some
They can
remixes.
totally
Oh.
take it back.
Oh my god,
But
Well,
Looks
they
like
still
they're
have a
gonna-
minute. They can totally take this
they get a slam,
back
and
with some
they
can
just
remixes.
get
totally
so
take-
much
take
damage
it
on
back,
Blue here,
but-
and
Is-
Yeah,
got hit.
Paint Bucket is doing
Oh,
oh,
so
but
much
with
work
their
here.
if their whole team dies, they're gonna be able
26?
to push it
Ooh.
far unless Air is able to stall for this long, and it looks like he does for a
Yeah.
bit.
Air almost able to pull
No,
it off,
26.
but sadly can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to push pretty far from this. 30, 31.
Oh, so Blue did push past 25%. I didn't see that. Okay, so yeah, no, they've got Red has the lead now. Blue is stalling. They are forcing. They have gone in with Barrier Shield.
Ooh.
Okay, and okay. Oh, they're splitting them up.
Damn.
Huge picture slip.
Alrighty.
3-4.
Guys, literally just take care
Already,
of,
Blue is taking advantage of their one-on-one
Blue-
pressure
Blue-
here,
Get the
which
point
is
now.
their strongest strength so
Unable
far.
to counter
And
the
so they're
flames
slowly
and
picking
dies from
off
fire
the various
100%.
members
Oh,
of.
Crimson coming out from
Crimson
there.
There we
coming
go.
coming out.
Oh wait,
Okay,
What?
How does the
What did
what?
that-
Banhammer manages to get a
Grimmer
kill.
gets shot over there?
dude, he's holding a judgment on
He's
my screen.
that.
What the heck?
What the hell?
There
That
seems
was
to have been
funny.
some interesting interactions with the
You do
remixes.
that.
But, yeah, that's.
He doesn't
We
get any
have
kills.
dual rocket launchers
There are a
jumping
lot
in,
of
going
remixes
for
you
some
can
aerial
get.
damage.
Have you seen the
And
attack
they're going for
judgment
sneaky
that
judgment
allows
blade.
you
Are
to
they
use
gonna land
skateboard
it?
empty with it?
They
Oh, yeah,
do.
no.
They only manage to hit one
What?
target, but they can't.
That was like
Yeah.
insane.
They can't get any
you
profit
throw-
from
you
it.
throw Teddy trap.
Okay, we got Paint
Honestly,
Bucket
I mean,
moving
yeah,
in,
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
set up for his
He's got
team.
the-
It seems
oh
like,
my god!
and yep, that
Just
is
throw
Paint
Teddy
Bucket's
trap.
pressure
But
coming in handy here.
I-
He gets paint on the Epic Sauce here, I think.
Wild,
They managed to get
They've got
damage,
their- oh my
and
god!
boom, the
Ah,
entire team
yeah.
goes down. Which, I will admit here, once Blue noticed that Red had Paint Bucket, they should have either gotten off of Epic Sauce, or they should have had the Epic Sauce be exclusively on like targeting support or like flanking and everything, because the Epic Sauce trying to play frontline here is basically putting everybody else at risk, because the Epic Sauce takes a lot of collateral damage. Well, one, Epic Sauce takes a lot of collateral damage from the various AoE abilities that Red has, but two, Epic Sauce also gets less healing because of the nature of the weapon, which means you have a naturally low health, damage, like, susceptible to collateral damage, hard to heal teammate that, if they get paint bucketed, basically just becomes a ticking 80 damage time bomb on
He's
any
got
of
like
your
a 4K.
teammates. Now, I will admit the little fire puddles that spawn when
Yeah. Oh,
the Epic Sauce dies do kind of curb the other team a bit, but it's just a tiny bit
Ooh,
because
did they-
those puddles do
they take this
very
back?
little
Red gets the
damage.
point back, but if
Yeah,
Skateboard
dude,
Dud manages to
overtime.
get away. That's the incredibly
They will have the
high
barrier for this
speed
overtime.
of the M2
maybe
coming
Air
into
has a
clutch here.
remix.
Their
We'll
soul
see.
is
And
just
oh, they're
points.
jumping
Huge,
in.
They need to push
Yeah.
it back
Okay,
an extra
hold on,
10%
they might be able
and
to pull
get
this
to
off.
their side.
They do.
Right.
How-
This will
doesn't
be
matter.
Oh,
They
not
have
quite.
The remix
it's
is
getting
great,
picked
though.
off one by one, they need
Yeah,
to get out.
And
and
they
regroup.
almost had that, but
Nah,
Red
it's
just
last
has too
push.
much
Six
Crimson
presence
coming out from
here.
the Slurpee.
Crimson coming
Oh,
in.
hit it,
Crimson
but
versus
Faye,
Slurpee.
the Faye.
Please let that pop.
Face Circle versus Crimson
Faye.
Katana. It looks like
Faye.
Face Circle
Yeah.
is winning.
I guess
Making
this,
no
And
progress.
mines
Ah.
come out. They were holding onto
Right.
mines. I did not know they had
That is an
mines.
Yeah, so yep, it was Banhammer, Slingshot, Staff of Life, Epic Sauce, and whatchamacallit, and Skateboard.
EP
yeah, I
pin,
didn't
either
know
win.
that either.
Overall, fantastic gameplay from both teams. I would say Red simply has an advantage here, partly due to the map meshing better with their abilities and team composition done with Blue, but also because of the way that they were able to control the point and take advantage of things like Epic Sauce's naturally low health and their very strong presence, especially when Paint Bucket was around. So fantastically well done for both teams. So next game is going to be... That's not the game. Oh, okay. I think this is a TDM. Yes, this is. Okay, so TDM is going to be very interesting because in comparison to the previous mode, which forced the teams to group up together and play very close to each other, here there's a lot more flexibility about whatchamacallit. Much more flexibility about I'm sorry, I've had a long day. Much more flexibility about where players can go and what they can do in a match, which means that
Yeah.
Blues, or the team I was calling Blue, their tendency to play with more flanker type compositions can become incredibly valuable here, especially if they can coordinate a group push. If they can do that and they just have everybody collapse in on the enemy team and they force Red into 1v1s, their weapon choices, or at least the weapon choices for last round, and just the way that they play will most likely mean that Blue will be
It's
able
not
to
even
play
a
better.
point.
Additionally, if Blue can have someone who just kind of lurks and picks off Red members as they're running back to the battle, or isolates members of Red's team,
Map, and
it will give them a
I don't
huge
think
advantage.
Royal Parry is gonna work well at all here.
So far from what I'm seeing here, Red, yet again going with the strong area control. They've taken over the top of the roof here.
the mountain.
And we have the Banhammer They're going. They've
feel like they-
swapped out one of their weapons
whenever-
for chakrams this
Whenever
time.
EP goes and plays, they always have this like mountain clash.
Okay, let's see. So we have Staff of Life, we have dual rocket launchers, we have chakrams,
I'm not
Paint
saying,
Bucket. I think that is.
Judge, Except
And,
charging up Judgment
um,
Blade. Oh.
but- Yeah,
Almost
this
get a
is
Lucky
up there.
Judgment Blade. Okay.
This shit ain't worth it. No.
Yeah, and then we have a top hat. Okay. So both teams have chakrams here.
Thinking, like, actual
Oh, blue has the Bloxy
heavy
Cola.
chip damage right there.
Interesting. Bloxy probably makes sense here.
I love
Simply
TDMs.
because you just need
So
to give.
Except's really
You take a lot more chip damage in TDM modes
low.
than
Oh,
in
yeah,
like
they have no
other
support
modes because a lot people are more spread out and everything. Blue is getting a lot of very good poke damage here from their
Warriors
chakrams and other
Crossroads
weapons.
Mountain.
If they could have one of these members, like if they could have someone from here and subtly have them flank around and go for a pick here, they could just even like wait like right here on this ledge right here. And then the moment that their teammate calls out like the top hat's low, get him, they just jump up, run in here, get the kill, jump out, and then red can either charge forward and go for the remaining kills, or they can just go for a
I
one,
think. Wait.
one at a time type.
If we just used all 3 wands on Exup
Oh my days.
It could be a valuable
and didn't even
could be a valuable strategy for blue, especially given that the
They're
way that
giving
their
an
team
angle
plays.
time to
Six would be
recharge.
holding his
Slurpee's
breath.
just holding a barrier. The team just
Except I don't know
literally
why he
can't
wasted
do
his
anything
mana
because
for
they
that.
have like no, they have like not that much long range power besides like chakrams.
Okay.
Yep, the commentator is making a very good point here. Most of their weapons are
Just look at
decently
Zach
close
Larry.
range.
Did they just ruin ammo, bro?
He's just holding a
Oh, they
barrier.
did manage to
bro.
get a lot of
He's
damage on
R-farming
the
and
top hat, I think that
strengths.
is.
I mean,
No, that's not the top hat. That is someone else. I don't know. We'll
They're
see
try-
what weapon that
I
is
think
in a
the
bit.
plan is that they're trying to get one pick and back out.
yeah.
It looks like
Yeah.
they're playing very
Because
fast,
that's
very-
what
very
they shot on the black
fast-paced.
hand. You're gonna get one eventually.
I think they know if they get too close, then Myth is
And
just.
plus
gonna
they got,
outrun them.
They got star on.
What are they
chakrams.
doing? They're just having a
Oh,
huddle.
hyper. We got hyper.
Oh, they're holding hyper.
Doesn't get
Ooh,
it.
okay, red is collapsing in.
Black hole bomb.
Just gets the
Oh,
barrier.
no, I'm lying.
They're going
Oh,
in.
shit.
Fake
Ooh.
comes
They
out.
trade.
Okay.
Two-Phase coming out.
Use Faye, but
Yeah.
Oh, gets
Oh,
gets
the
Faye.
Vegas-
Yeah,
shut
that,
down.
that judgment went insane.
Interesting.
Beach
So
fight.
red decided to collapse
shit,
in
630
as a
is,
team and go for a
Except it's
pick.
really low
And
here.
so far, it's rewarded them
Right
partly
now.
because of their strong
They can
team
kill XX.
presence.
Oh, hold
In the
on.
air.
Oh, but blue
What is
starts
that?
airstrike.
Oh, shoot.
And yeah, their strong one-on-one pressure here
Ow.
is very
That's who-
clearly showing as they're
kill
picking
lead
off
for
each
3
member
kill
one at a
lead. Oh,
time.
and
now,
Big deal.
now blue team.
Alright,
can play
they
Which
just
is
back.
honestly fantastic defense from blue. Very well played to not succumb to the overwhelming rush of red, and then for flipping the battle.
Backing out, they
So
need to run.
fantastically well done.
I don't know. They're going back to
Oh,
the
they're going
mountain
back
as
to the
if
mountain.
they have
They're
an
trying to
advantage,
stall
but
it
they
out.
don't. They don't. They're up. They're down by 3 kills. They need to go in.
Yeah, this is where Red's game plan of like doing like kind of like a clump of players slash having a lot of area control starts to fall apart a bit because they really do need to be playing all next to each other here, and blue can take advantage of that by staying away and positioning themselves well, which basically
Here they
forces
come.
red to take awkward approaches here as we are seeing. Meanwhile, blue can just pressure them.
I like how they
And-
have 4 tanks, bro.
Yeah, they're basically they're moving as a
Yeah,
group.
no.
It's like they're glued together.
Feeling
One
the
block.
help
They
out.
have they have
Comp and
they have
PR.
top hat. They have
One
slight
top
gambit as
hat.
they're healing. 4
Top had
tanks,
3
no
heals.
range.
This is just all tanks.
Oh, Crimson Katana.
Oh, shoot. Crimson.
I think what this person was trying to do here.
Healing 4
Top had
tanks.
3
I don't know what
heals.
they're- I don't know what
This
weapon
is
they're
just
playing.
all tanks.
But
Oh, shoot. Crimson.
I think they tried to go for like a sneaky katana and everything. But yet again, blue has such good one-on-one pressure that these Slipknot. Actually, no, the slingshot and just their general pressure completely shut
Coming in,
down.
coming out.
Which not only is good because they get a free kill, but they also shut down what could be a very, very deadly remix against them.
Oh, and he dies.
They're trying
Now,
to play.
admittedly, this does put blue
Like
in a bit of a bad
Ghost meta.
spot because they had to focus on the red team member, which
Doesn't
means
need
that
Yeah,
the
Ghost
rest
Rider,
of red.
saying.
So they focus on one red member, which means the rest of red can now dive in.
Slam from mid.
But still, this is
Doesn't
the
give
same
me-
thing. Blue has such good like one-on-one pressure
But-
here
oh,
that they can like. We go from having
Coming in.
Coming out.
Oh, shoot.
right here.
Oh, and he dies.
They're
Nice,
trying to play
really.
goats meta
Yeah,
in
that doesn't
Project
get-
Remake.
You go from having 2 half health team members and red with like
Goats meta,
full health and
insane.
everything
Big
to
slam from
like and 2 people almost
Mid.
dead here
doesn't get anybody.
to getting 1
so
kill,
Just gets picked.
which
Oh shoot!
very
really
quickly
low.
is I suspect becomes 2 kills,
Herb
does
3 kills,
Bert is
dies.
dead.
Yeah,
and,
they need to rethink
actually,
their strategy.
probably 4
having
if they
no
can
range
get
is
this
Well,
last
that's
guy.
fine,
terrible
but-
idea.
Oh, this is the dual rocket launcher.
Eddie coming out.
Tries to go for sneaky
that's Eddie
judgment
Fair,
blade,
though.
can't
Try
pull
to.
it off. Yeah, blue is absolutely clearing here, and as you can see, this is much more in blue's favor, the way that TDM is structured and everything. I mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, or more accurately, at the start of this match.
When
Because a couple of minutes ago.
I don't think
has-
that's really the
is
best idea when
long
you're
gone.
trying to stall. I think you want to wait for a remix.
What
like
are they
Crimson
doing?
And
They're
like,
like
the
playing
Monks or something.
defensively. They need to go in.
They're down
they got-
by.
Okay,
what
they're
is it?
trying to
I can't
play.
be
I
mad.
think actually
Nine.
trying to
Long.
play
They're,
them right
they're
now.
down by.
Now,
Hey,
they did
they're
go
down
with
by
lightning
19.
You can't
wand,
rely
which is very
Rely on
interesting.
flanks just.
It
to
seems
get-
like the lightning wand was kind of as a force blue out of position tool, which doesn't really work yet again because blue does not play as
A
clumped up as
9
red
kill-
does. A better tool would probably have been tough question actually. I don't know what would have worked. Perhaps I don't think Chrono Release was out at this time. Super Bowl might have worked, or alternatively an 8-bit because of the amount of damage you can just send in a singular location, which really forces them to back
Make
out,
up a
especially if you're using Accelerate. 30 damage per bullet against a barrier shield, even if you have the because barrier shield takes your maximum health, multiplies it by 2, or now it's 2x. Back then I suspect it was 2.5 times. So Banhammer, which is 275, gives you it is not the right day to be doing math. I'm sorry folks, 1 minute times 2, 550 times 1.5. Okay, it gives you about 800 effective health, which normally that's a lot, but considering that with 1 magazine of an 8-bit with Accelerate, you can dish out 750 damage. You can absolutely chew through a defensive comp that's stuck in like a mostly linear location, like is this bridge right here. And keep in mind, that's 1 8-bit. That's not counting abilities. So that's not counting any abilities, any teammates, any remix. Remix is their own thing. That's not counting the missiles that whatchamacallit, that 8-bit gets. So red going 8-bit here instead of lightning wand would probably
9
have
kill
given them a
difference.
lot
And
more
Michael coming out
success.
from
And
air.
yeah, blue pops hyper laser and it just cuts down red as they try to
Oh my
ambush
It's
blue on the
gross.
beaches
Max is
here.
getting slaughtered in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
God.
just
shuts down the Fae as
absolute
well,
decimation.
So it's not like a even trade, even better. They only have
If
3
we swap
kills
to
in their-
lightning wand, it's over. It's over for not
Okay, red does get a good kill here. They managed to catch one of Blue's
13
members
kills,
out,
yeah.
and they're
Zebra.
playing very
They might
close
act-
here.
yeah,
By
they
13
probably-
kills,
barrier
that's
shield
2.5
is low health.
team wipes.
Okay, and blue has
And
popped
they have
face
1
circle,
minute
which
to do
basically
it,
means
like-
that red has a low chance
there's
of
already
getting
a
any
Fae
kills
in
here. Especially since they're going up against. Oh no,
Yeah,
they do
no,
get a few.
it's
They
just
do
not
get a few
happening.
from the
Yeah,
just their
XX
sheer
swapped to
damage
slingshot.
output.
They are
but-
getting off this.
Yeah,
comp
but
that they were
it is
trying.
Oh,
way too
wow.
late.
If the
They
slingshot
thought they
plays
did
this
in,
well, they
like,
can get
with only a
3
minute
kills
30
here.
left to make up so many, like, such a high.
Oh, not
kill
quite. They
deficit.
can't break
They're
through
not
that
gonna
barrier
do it,
shield
especially because
that,
Especially
nobody
on-
to farm up kills.
On TDM,
Right.
Crossroads TDM, which is an incredibly like long-range map. This comp might work on like shipping dock, but not this.
Yeah, shipping dogs would have been missile coming in too.
Okay, and
Yeah.
blue pops
Yeah,
remote
it's-
airstrike, and they managed to
it's-
just
I
chew
think it's
through.
safe to say
Yep.
it's over, and I think
Yeah.
Namdequip has this.
So
We might see
And-
it might be
There we go.
final duel soon,
Good
actually.
too, yeah.
I think that EP was like I feel like they were memeing for this one, and they
Yeah,
realized.
but
they were
memeing is
locked in.
like when you're up 2.
yeah.
Yeah, because now it's tied up, and
They're just
GG,
all
is
going
that-
it might
Shit,
actually
Mark.
cost them.
Yeah, so far from what I'm not really commentating
As it
because
has
most of
this
this is a
round.
repeat of
Yeah.
everything that's happened in
They're
this
up
match.
by that's
I
20
think that's
kills.
yeah, that's red. I think their DRL swapped to parry linked sword.
23.
Not having any
Oh.
success though. 31 to 8,
Yeah.
absolute
Yeah,
decimation.
dancing in the fucking middle.
Yeah.
Six Slurpee, not a very serious player, and you can
They
see
all
that
just
right
stopped
here
'cause they knew it was over.
as they are partying. But yeah, no, this is absolute sweep by Blue.
Guys, check it.
Anyways, so let's see. Yep, Chakram's hammer blocks his slingshot,
Uh,
and then
unofficial.
do we see what Dish had at any moment? Skateboard. Dish was the skateboard. Dish,
They all just
fantastic
stopped.
gameplay on your end.
Guys, check
I have one
Okay, let's see. I believe there's going to be a third match given the amount of time left on the clock. Yes, there is. Okay, so this is this should be interesting. This is a Koth game, which, well, not as so. This is Koth, which is basically you have one like
Alright.
hill
But
here.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, they're going. Okay, I'll do this.
And you basically need to stand in there to get points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the timer wins. That's pretty much how it works. Now, it's not as restrictive as the payload game mode at the very start was, because it's a moving zone. So this is the zone, but the zone also moves over time. So you have a lot more flexibility around where you want to be, and you can also choose to not be on zone. You can choose to be like around it, above it, protecting it, like watching the flanks, etc. Everything. And if you still have like a support teammate or tank on the point, your team is still racking points up overall. Whereas with Subspace, you kind of want everybody on the cart because otherwise you don't get much progress. But it's also not as open and as free as, say, TDM is, because there is still a main objective you have to go, and you're not just hunting kills. Anyways, so far from what I'm seeing, Blue has the same
here we go.
comp. Red has gone back to Paint Bucket. Pretty smart decision, especially because you have very tight quarters where everybody's going to be, and
We got
so
JCC
Paint
on
Bucket
hand.
works fantastic.
Yeah.
Got the
fantastic
Panther
for
tank
that.
Back. Looks
Here we
like
go.
next therapy.
This is actually
We got
something I
JCC
mentioned
on
earlier.
hammer.
The catapult advantage.
Yeah.
So you can see here,
Their tank back. Here we go.
we have Dish
We
skateboard
got
here.
JCC on hammer.
Yeah.
Takes hammer here. They get tripped.
They have their tank back.
They get hit with the lightning
Here we
bolt, which hits both of them. They get hit with anti-heal, and then the paint bucket here just absolutely
Gonna be
decimates
able
them.
to go
And
to-
this is the advantage of running catapult over slam, or one of the alternatives. One of the advantages that come when you play with catapult instead of playing with slam is that you can go for picks like that. And given that Red has such high area control, they can basically just pick a target, be like, I'm throwing the hammer at him, and everybody just kind of chucks damage in that direction as the person goes boom. And then all of their allies go boom because
Them
of
are
Paint
already
Bucket.
dead. Oh, they got Eveway on Lightning Wand. They've got Paint Bucket. They've got so much AOE. Oh,
Ooh,
and
6 are pretty good.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
far, yeah, Blue struggling here. They did manage to get a couple of
Oh,
individual
yeah.
kills, but
Pretty
Six
good.
Slippy
Nah,
gets hit. Ooh,
yeah, they're struggling to
Yeah,
get on
they're already
points
at
here.
max
Red just
point.
has too much area
It's-
control,
this is
Yeah.
not.
and
Oh.
they're
Well,
Blue
that's
has
the
too
thing
many
is that the max cap
much
is that
flank.
they can always come
Uh,
back.
interesting
So
ghost
you could see, you
course.
saw that.
Uh-huh.
You saw that yesterday with.
Yep, and yeah, I
Goofy
think one of
sparring
them decided to go
squad,
anti-heal,
even though
and it is working fantastic.
getting-
No, actually, swapping your lightning wand here is a very good choice because
Destroyed
you
in,
can
like-
just drop the cloud on the point, and it's free damage on anybody that
early
tries to
game
stand close.
by TP. They were
And
able to
the
come.
explosive nature of lightning wand works well because if you're trying to get onto a point, you can throw your lightning bolt projectiles, the M1s as they are called, at the point,
back
and you
in
can get
overtime and
massive
win.
damage,
Mhm.
especially if you're not in range
They
to
can
summon the
definitely.
cloud.
no,
This
definitely
is
gonna stay
definitely
here.
not.
Judgment
the comp to
Blades.
run
Oh,
into
wait, my
Red
Tail
gets
is
slammed
good,
on
though.
anyone.
It's a
And-
it's a
Whoa.
very.
Yep.
It's a very like glass houses is like. Even
Yeah,
though,
as you can see
like
here,
Yeah.
outside,
this is that's what I was talking about.
it's a very. This is a very like glass houses is
The
like.
perks of playing, or one of the perks of the zone mode is that compared to payload, you can have somebody sitting up here just kind of sniping downwards, and it doesn't affect your
Even
point
though
at
like,
all.
Yeah.
outside is very open, the points themselves are like very enclosed, except for like the ones that are like in the mid. So you
there's
have
a
that
V-bot
melee comp
spawned
that
in.
they're running is actually
What?
going to be a lot better for them.
Yeah, V-Spot spawned in next to the point.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, Red just has
yeah.
a major advantage here because
the
of the
old
way that
point.
the
I don't-
team is organized.
Wait, what?
Like, we're
Now, I will admit
See,
moments
like,
like
actual-
that, like this right here,
Wait, what?
like,
the
what-
camera panned away, but the slingshot managed a good kill on an isolated target. But
you,
Yeah,
like, you mean
I'll-
actual robots?
yeah. Like,
What?
What?
I
Where?
think it's because we set it off since from arena. I mean, like,
Alright.
We
Where-
switched
wait,
up
I gotta
the-
see-
Wait,
Property damages are damage costs are going through the roof,
Is-
but red is getting a lot of points here.
Like,
Okay, I think they're gone.
I suspect remixes will be
it's on
coming
the
out in a
old
couple
point.
of
It was
minutes,
on the older
or
point.
not in minutes, but like
Right.
very
Oh,
shortly.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Blue
okay,
is getting a couple
whatever,
of kills
let's
here.
continue, that's
Actually,
not a huge deal.
actually no, they did manage. Yes, actually, hold on. Blue
Okay, I
making a
think
bit of a
they're gone.
comeback here.
It,
What happened? Hold on. Okay.
like,
Okay, I think they're gone.
it's on that old point. It was on the older
Interesting.
point.
So blue kind of rushed in
Right.
and
Oh,
forced
fine.
red to split up,
Yeah.
and as you can see
Whatever.
here,
Okay,
they're taking advantage of their strong strategy, which is splitting up red
Whatever,
and then
we-
picking
let's
them off one by
continue, it's not
one.
a huge deal.
And you can see that's what's happening here, at
The
least to a
hyperlaser
degree.
gets
Oh,
the-
Yep,
hyperlaser
hyperlaser
yeah.
comes
Moving
out.
Gets one.
Uh,
Can they get another? Unfortunately, does not.
Nope. They don't
But-
get a. They do not get
but the
another.
team is
But the hyperlaser
will
buys
follow up
enough
on that
time for
kill
them to move in and
and
just
looks
shred
like
the rest
Gnome's
of
gonna get the point back.
red.
Oh, and X up
by
is gonna come in
themselves.
for a slam. Yep.
Yeah.
Is
Here's the thing: is
Burb-
they're just not
wait,
targeting
Burb's
X
on
up while he charges up Judgment Blade. He literally stood there and did it.
Now, unfortunately, Paint
Oh,
Bucket does get a
Crimson?
kill
Phase
here.
Circle's
Crimson
good,
Katana
but like
comes
the team
out
just
from
left eyes, so they,
blue,
they weren't
yes.
able to capitalize on it.
They might not be able to secure the kill. Oh no. No,
Burb's
they.
on Link's sword, but
I
Burb
thought
is
they were
is
playing-
support
Slingshot Skateboard does manage to get the tank.
remix.
Slingshot manages to get a kill here.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I
and
guess
blue-
I guess they're just farming a lot for mitigation. You see, Burp has 5,000 mitigation
Oh
already.
my god.
Yeah, the Bloxicola is putting in work here
Oh,
because
wow.
it's giving all of the members over health, which, given that Blue likes to force one-on-one duels, having that bonus over health when you're starting to fight is incredibly valuable, because what it means is that you can be completely doing your own thing. You can be on the other side of a point. Like let's say this was a giant brick wall, like giant brick cube. You can't get in, you can't get out. It's just a giant brick cube. You could have the Bloxy right here, and you have a Banhammer right here and everything, and they're doing their own thing, they're doing their own duels and everything, and normally this support player can't really do much. If they have top hat or something, they can throw a wall, maybe give a bit of overhealth and everything. But Bloxicola, all they have to do is throw one, or like not one, but like a couple of cans before they even get into this position. Suddenly, Banhammer has bonus health, the Bloxicola has bonus health, and both of them can take their fights individually, and the Bloxicola is getting free value from this. And it also means that their tendency to play one-on-one is made even easier by the overhealth that Bloxicola grants.
You're right.
But half of that might be from parry.
Parry, yeah,
You only
parry
get-
and barrier shield. Well, here's the thing: is you only get
Yeah, remix from
mitigation
barrier
in the
shield,
charge barrier
so-
shield.
Right. Now this is very interesting so far. This is actually
Yeah, it's
this
even
is a
out.
bit of
You're
a
right.
tie between blue and red. Neither of their strategies are really coming into
fuck,
play
everything.
That
here.
lightning, like the
Mainly because they're just
lightning
shuffling
wand
on
is
the points one
huge,
by
like,
one.
for-
Red does get the advantage here.
you can see that
Paint
even-
Bucket's
Yeah,
on
Venom's
the
as well.
field.
Six up
is
is
doing
Yeah.
five
And
a
they,
lot of
the lightning wand and the
damage,
remix that they popped
especially
just
on this
kind of
control mode. It's
And
very
Burm's
unfortunate
blue
that
didn't
this
even-
got
I didn't
off
think
like
about it.
moving forward.
literally 30 minutes.
Banhammer tries to go
before
for a
the
kill
scrim was
here.
supposed
Is not strong enough. Blue's going through the murder tunnel here. Recommendation for blue team next time: don't do that. Just like go down and then climb up this walkway, or this one, or this one, or like the little staircase that's here. Like anything except walking down the very long, obvious tunnel that leads directly to the team with incredibly high amounts of area control. Please.
Oh man, that sucks. I hate. Can I just like unbind the Roblox recorder?
That'd be nice.
They just gotta wait for the next point here. Try to
Yeah.
get a- Oh my god!
Ooh,
Air
hold on,
get-
hold
The
on.
next point here.
Oh,
Yeah.
blue? They
Oh my
collateral laser.
God!
or-
Oh my
Air gets
God.
air gets
Air just
four
got, like, a
hyper laser.
three-
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
So hold on. This is absolutely
Pretty nice.
magical
They
gameplay
just gotta
from
wait for
blue.
the next point here.
They get a hyper laser kill, collateral hyper
Yeah.
laser kill,
Oh my god!
a third hyper laser
Air
kill,
gets, air gets
Air just
four
got, like, a-
hyper
Wow.
and then they get a hyper laser snipe. That is
Oh
one of
my
the best
God.
ultimates I have
Oh.
seen in a very, very long time. Congratulations, blue, because I think
My
that one
God.
you
The
the
cross
game.
map. The cross
Maybe,
map.
maybe not.
I mean that's good, but that's unfortunate because the point switched as he was doing that, so it's not as effective.
It did switch.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
and-
just
and-
all
okay.
spawn back.
If
Yeah, I
anything,
know.
that just made it. That just
Oh my
made
god!
it so
they
that
just got
red
like a
could spawn
4K
in
from that.
closer.
You gotta pay attention to like
Right.
when the zone's gonna move.
Cribs are coming out from 6 Slurpee. Just
Yeah,
one.
actually, unfortunately,
Before
I
the
don't
face
think
popped.
that.
Coming up, but
The
Faye
The
comes
hyper
out.
layers are well impressive. I don't know if it helped.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
will
that-
see, though.
That Faye is able to completely
Blue is
stop
at
any
down here, but
damage
if they can
from
get a
Crimson.
good series of kills on red here, all they
Alright,
need
We
is.
still got a
It's
minute
left.
left, so
And
it's
then make it.
no.
just a
can
bit of
still
time.
definitely come back here.
But
Unfortunately,
is
you did
rough.
use both their damage remixes.
At what
so
point
it's
do
gonna
you
be hard
have
to
to-
win.
Right.
just
Abandon the
Blade just
Crimson
shuts down
to,
Skateboard
like,
so
run
hard.
Strabans
It's
or
not even
something?
fair.
Because every time you do it, you're just getting countered by the Fae.
Right.
Blue. Oh, hold
Maybe
on.
they
coming-
will hopefully.
Phase circle here.
Now do Crip's own Fae coming
Well,
out.
that's what the wings are. It's not
No.
fairy bell. It's phase
That's gonna
circle.
give them point
Okay.
control.
Phase circle?
Hold on. Blue
No,
is
wait,
making a
oh.
comeback here. The face circle is buying them time, and it's
Yeah.
letting them
Face
stay on the
mid meta.
points because of the amount of healing it's outputting, which actually also helps because Bloxy doesn't have very good group
I haven't
healing.
seen a scrim where the like
or
support
just,
hasn't
it doesn't have very great sheer healing
the
output
Fae yet.
for groups compared to like Atmo Blaster V2 or Stellar Tune or stuff like that.
Frobby runs Divine Veil sometimes.
Okay,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Blue here. Hold on. Oh, they managed to get a kill.
Alright, Myth
Okay,
takes
15
control
seconds
point
left in.
first.
We're seeing a
winning,
Bloxy duel on the point right now.
Oh,
Bloxy
man, that
duels.
Bloxy duel is-
I
Uh,
see
they get
those
picked off
news.
by lightning.
So,
They
like,
go, oh,
It just looks
Yeah.
like blue team needs a miracle right now.
a
Yeah.
blue team would have to pop subspace trip mines
Look,
here
Such a
to
strong
force
game.
red off the
Wait,
point.
They are on overtime.
They do get
They are overtime.
Oh,
Oh, another
Here
hyper laser.
comes
It's
in.
only Funk Hammer.
Hold on. They have
Kills
to.
Myth.
There does another white.
He's barely.
Oh no! What? Okay.
He-
They've just lost their tank to a very unfortunate slam into a lightning
Yeah.
cloud.
Come on,
You
Dave.
need to kill Evil. You just literally just.
No,
Oh,
do,
no.
do not get off the point. Do not get off the
Oh, no,
point.
no,
You will
damage.
lose if you get
Yeah,
off
he's
the
Oh my
point.
god.
Except gets
10 difference. now.
Trades. He
gets
dies.
straight on 6 Slurpee.
Just needs
Oh,
to-
No. Red
Wait,
pops
something else?
trip
Come on.
mines here.
Just he needs to get in the
Yeah,
point.
they're
He
not
used
gonna
a
be able
very.
to
Damn it. I think if Blue had kept their tank, they might have been able to
Point.
win that because they could have barricaded this door and prevent them from popping trip mines.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. Fantastic gameplay from both teams here. But yeah. Is this a match? Or is this just the spectators memeing? I cannot tell. Yes, it is the spectators memeing. Okay, okay. Okay, this looks
Well-
like it is probably...
It's
Um,
not the best
oh,
idea to
okay.
watch it in Minecraft.
I think this is most likely the last match. Oh, no, there are two more. Wow, this was a long game,
Then
which means that I think Blue starts getting some more kills.
starting.
they all spawn on the roof. Wait, who's on
Interesting.
have-
So it's back to TDM here.
Willow on
Auto
ET Death?
random. Okay.
Is he deaf?
Yeah,
ET Death. Okay, interesting. For this map, this is actually a pretty good choice. It depends on what abilities Willows is running. But there, you do have a lot of very long sight lines here and a lot of high ground between the like chimneys here, the store here. Obviously, fantastic sight lines for pretty much the entire map.
and XX is the only ranged on their team.
Wow, so it's just Chakrams versus
It's got 6 Slurpee on Chakrams.
Dude, they gave. Oh wait. Are they
versus the
starting?
Block C.
Yep.
Yeah, they.
We already
sorry.
said-
Yeah, we already started, bro.
This
Alright, I
is
gotta
the
turn off this
clash.
audio.
They're trying to land an
Yeah,
anti-heal.
this is really cool and fun. I
Alright,
love
here we go. Let's see what
TDM.
we got. We got yeah, we look X is finally going range.
Yeah,
They
so we
went
have
from
two slingshots here. Red team is running standard slingshot. Blue team is running tri-shot
last time
slingshot.
about the problems of having
Dual rocket launchers
Dude,
on
none
red.
of them are
Really
doing damage.
Poly though,
They're
right
not
There's
doing
just doing
any
damage.
damage.
Just going back and forth. I think at this point they're probably just like charging remixes, and it's going to be a big clash. Somebody tries to Kobe the time bomb. Doesn't
They almost managed to land a very nice
Do
time
anything.
bomb above the shield here, but
Trench warfare.
I think red does have a bit of advantage here because their tank is managing their stamina a bit better. Admittedly, they do have the advantage of this wall right here, which basically blocks most of the
Well, that was
incoming
kinda
damage
like-
they would
Oh,
receive.
Evil's not playing. I didn't realize.
If blue had what was it right now? Ooh. I think if blue had grenade launcher right now, like either normal grenade launcher, and hopefully this is the right distance, you can get enough distance with grenades, or sticky grenade launcher, they could get so much damage right
they're
now.
all bunched up. If you had a Crimson right now, this would be awesome.
There's no damage being done at all.
Blue's deciding to move
Blue's
out. Unfortunate timing though,
damage.
because
We
they
have
moved
the-
their barrier
now
shield.
they have to support.
Okay,
Six is gonna get picked.
and the
Oh,
train.
They all
he
get
just
blown
barely
up.
gets out.
Oh,
Evie dies.
Oh, wait, Evie died?
Yeah,
Oh.
They didn't get in the Fey.
Oh, great. JC might die
Oh.
here, though.
so they were charging remixes, and
Funky
they had
were
their
getting
red
low.
had their support pop Faye.
Oh,
Going in for a slam.
Hold on,
He gets
Oh.
the pick.
Blue's trying to
Oh,
escape.
shoot.
Blue, that's the slingshot, I think.
That's why he's
Shock Rums gets 2
Oh,
kills.
Barrier clash going on.
He's going in.
Oi,
Oh, yeah. Was that the best choice? Probably not.
Gnome gets its whole team wiped somehow. That's crazy.
oi.
Oh,
All right,
it's
one more
Bird
Bird.
died here, too.
JC
Oh,
Damn.
shoot.
It's
Yeah. Yet again, this is Blue's advantage in 1v1 fights coming to an edge here because of how the roof works with the glass flooring and everything. And the red team just ended up splitting up. Like Blue backed up. Blue backed up and gave red room, so they were forced to split up. And because of that, they were able to
Goodbye.
pick off
Another play
kills.
coming in.
Eagle not. Or,
Coming on
And,
that
yeah.
anti-heal's gonna be
Get
huge.
another.
Big slam gets a pick.
Oi.
Oh.
Okay,
fucking
red
red.
no
Oh,
red
looks
is
like
making a
it-
bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, they're making up
Aviators
some
is getting
kills
the
here.
kill.
Gets
Hyper laser comes out, but they drop Hyper.
It's the kill on Willow too. Oh,
It looks like someone popped Hyper Laser, but they
They seem
haven't.
to regroup
They
here.
didn't get any value from it, unfortunately.
Not the.
And
Yeah,
now
they
Red has taken
have the high
control
ground
of
So
advantage.
the
apparently
upper
turning
area.
off master
Phoenix.
volume doesn't turn off the voice speech option in Minecraft.
Okay. Now Red does have a bit of an advantage here because of Paint Bucket, which means that they can pepper this entire area, and if they do manage to get someone, or they get a lot of damage on someone, they can just go for them, and they basically make one of Blue's teammates into a time bomb.
Both teams stalling out right now. This is gonna
Yeah.
be. I love
Another
TDM.
6 versus
Dead even,
6
dude.
It's
kills.
literally the
2
exact
minutes 30
same
seconds and
position.
they're tied 6-6.
Blue does have a bit of advantage here with the ET Death, with the
What is
long
Red
range
blocking?
and
Yeah,
burst
yeah.
damage
I
capabilities,
did
but
Slurpees. Oh, six Slurpees.
Oh,
Oh,
Trevon's
Robin's
lightning.
coming in.
Straven's coming out here.
He's not gonna be able to.
Counter with
With the
Crimson,
barrier, though.
Faye comes out. Both teams use Faye, but they drop the Faye.
unfortunately, Shavant's Lightning, while arguably one of the best remixes in the game, does not get much value here, simply because
Travis
it does
coming
not
out here.
work well in enclosed
He's
areas.
not gonna be able to.
Counter with
With the
Crimson.
barrier though.
And not only do they pop Phase Circle to for the healing to negate
Faye comes out.
negate the damage over time, because Shavant's Lightning is damage over time. It's not burst damage, unlike exponential rocket launcher, which is burst damage. They pop their own Crimson and they just cut
Oh, did you
through
say
Blue,
that?
who was hoping that they could get a kill with Stravant and move
They
in.
drop the Faye.
And so they counter remix.
Okay,
ET
that was
Death
great.
manages to get
Oh,
out
they get the trade.
here.
Wait, is 6
If he goes
down?
down-
Oh no, but they do manage to flip the
Yes,
fight. Hold on.
Slurpees
They're
is
making a
on
comeback here.
Oh shoot.
Kind
Six
of.
Slurpees
Slurpee's gonna
back there.
die.
Oh, okay.
It's even.
They almost Chakram
again,
almost
Falcon's
manages to
going
get the
in.
kill. Banhammer goes in
Okay,
though.
but-
Just
No.
barely
Van
get the
Hammer
kill on
trying to
XX.
get some
He's gonna
value.
Get picked here.
He's getting
Oh,
cornered.
it's over for.
Oh,
in
no.
the corner.
Almost
Oh.
managed to get it out. If this force field is a bit more to the left, they might have been able to
Oh,
escape.
yeah.
Almost gets out. They're
Oh,
all
Bird
Ooh.
pretty low in
Bird
there.
gets
ET Death
Stop though, right there.
picking someone off.
Okay,
That
but then
burst
6
damage
Slurpees
coming in
also.
Six Slurpee
coming
also
in
gets
clutch
picked.
here. If ET Death can get a good angle here, they can just cut through
Oh shoot. There
the
is a-
remainder of red, and that's exactly what happens. They manage to get a good
Evens out
snipe here.
again.
Wow, this
Willow
is.
finding the angle on Myth.
If one of Blue gets on the roof here, they have access to a guaranteed kill, a potentially guaranteed kill, and the ability to line up 2 more
Will
kills
this be
here.
another tie?
It's a very dead even match, dude.
Seriously.
Again, it's
This is
another.
what you
It's
do when you
another,
play
like,
stall in TDM.
more trench warfare. Burb literally just holding the barrier in front of the door.
If he just
EVC
dies
by their
herself.
own hand.
I think Eevee blew
Oh,
themselves
myself
up.
up.
What even
Classic
happened there?
They just need to run away. Not be equipped needs to run away.
JCC,
That's a
don't
fun
enter. You're gonna get
Oh.
hit.
Oh,
Oh,
Slingshot
go away.
going for
Block.
flank here.
Minnow doing
Don't
really
enter the fuck
nothing
hammer.
right now
Don't
for
enter the
both teams.
Roblox parts.
1 minute left for both teams.
1 minute left.
Both of their barrier
Payers
shields
is
are
gonna
out of
have to pull out
mana.
here.
Let's see what they do now.
I think what they're trying to do is that both teams are just farming remix stars right now. There's going to be a big clash yet
Absolutely.
again.
Yeah, I
But
think
it
they're
looks
going for just
like
they're
nobody
doesn't have
stalling
remix
for
here.
remixes right now.
Faye coming out.
And they're going
They're
in.
Like everything.
Oh,
Blair.
Blair.
And
Phase
Yeah.
circle comes
Coming
out.
out. Two. It's 2. EB gets the lead.
Banhammer tries to
It's like
escape
three
and
at the
has
cost of
no
2
luck.
remix.
Robin's coming out.
Ooh, Petrifying
Robin's coming
Gaze
out here.
versus Stravance.
Oh,
Stravance
what
comes
the-
out
where's
just a
Stravance?
bit
Oh,
late.
yes,
Oh,
get
no,
picked
no, they
off.
do manage to get
Oh,
one
Hyper
and
Laser.
two. And another Hyper Laser.
Oh, Hyper Laser coming
See,
in.
but- Okay,
Just one more kill on mid.
but we still
Hold on.
even
Oh,
Pain
they
Dog
managed to
still
get
has
another
a
kill.
20
hit
seconds
though.
left. Can they get 3 kills?
Van Hammer intercepts
Kills.
the other hammer.
They
Chakrams
just
going
need to
for
defend
flank
themselves.
here, getting a ton
Pain
of
comes
damage
out,
on
but
Red
it's
from
pretty
behind.
premature. They're not getting pressured
Ooh.
there. That could have been
God,
done
He's
He's
gonna
gonna
be
die.
picked here.
Uh,
Right.
Four-
Evie
Did you make-
manages to get damage. Manages to get ambushed and taken out. I think they're
Got
having
4
network
kills in the
issues from the way they're lagging
10
around.
seconds.
Alternatively, they might have been B hopping. I can't really tell.
Six Slurpee going back to distract them.
Red's trying to move in
He's
here,
gonna
but
get
Blue's just playing defensively, and
he's gonna
because
let-
of the ET death and slingshot, they
let the
can
rest of
afford
his
to do so, and they rack up damage on anyone trying
Team
to approach
escape.
them.
Yeah, that's it.
What a
No
hero.
win.
And that's game.
It's 2-2.
Yeah, I actually no, they're right. It is 2-2. Okay, which means that they have one more game left to play. Hold on. Okay, yeah, no, this is not the game. Oh, it's gonna be Crete down. Well, well, well. Ooh, okay, hold on. Hold on, this looks interesting. Alrighty, I found the match. Let's go.
They're
Also,
spawning on
I
the same
have gotten
side.
a popsicle. This is irrelevant. I'm just.
Six
I
Slurpee's
think
a
that's
little.
Will's
Slurpee's actually all 11.
but yeah.
We got Paint Bucket,
Yeah,
Top
Paint
Hat.
bucket.
And
going in.
yeah.
Interesting. So, right now, Blue is playing more defensively than.
Oh my
Red
god,
and
big
Hammer.
hit. Big
And they're
slam.
trying to pick off
We
members
got
of
Link
Red, which
Sword, so we got
actually they are succeeding
the
at.
triple
almost
tank
gets the
going
partially,
yet
but
again.
Red is getting.
Fine.
Yeah,
Red does manage to cut out
already
a
yeah,
took
couple
a
yeah.
of picks here.
third.
Burby's like just.
Oh my god, they're just taking it. They're not on point.
Oi. They just kidnapped the points and they ran away
Oh.
with it.
Yeah. And Burby's taking that too.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, I forget how big Judgment Blade can be
Blue's
sometimes.
struggling here.
Like see it
Oh,
in like
they-
the
they're
front of my
just-
eye.
Like they're
Not a
the
single
triple-
kill for
triple
Nambi,
melee is working
Yeah, this
for
is
them.
not a-
Hammer is on one
This
health.
isn't going to be a good match for Blue, simply because of the fact that Creetown really emphasizes good area control, and if you have weapons that are capable of that, especially something like Paint Bucket, because of all of the free high ground, literally every single one of these buildings is free high ground.
You're
It's-
trying to get the kill on Exo.
Oh,
Does get
yeah.
it.
It was the same comp
That's
that they
good,
used
but-
in the first game, and that
Oh.
won them the subspace.
There we
match.
go.
I think
We've
they're
got
thinking
Blue.
that
Yeah,
they
they're
can
just
Blue
gonna
do
member
let
trying
them
to
get
flank
25
here.
here.
Doesn't get the
120
kill, does manage to buy
and
some
that's gonna
time
be
though.
good for
Are they
Nova.
going to escape? Nope.
We
They
see.
get
I
caught
think
by the
Willow.
Van
That's
Hammer.
not
Is that-
either
yeah, that's
paintball or I think that's paintball gun. No, but that's
Honestly,
a
the
shotgun.
strat may just be to like
Is that a shotgun?
let them
Blue's
have
running
it for a
shotgun.
while.
They're definitely going for a dive comp.
Well, can they guarantee themselves to
Six
get it?
Slurpee
when they
on
need it,
an
though.
area
That's
as their
the
range
question.
support
Oh,
here.
If they, oh well, they
and
got
do
here.
get
They
it
go.
back
I
here.
got a huge barrier here, but
If they can
you
get
have,
the pick on
you
Evo,
have,
maybe.
you have weapons like Bandhammer and Paint Bucket that are just like shred the
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, no, those are
subspace barrier on the other
demolished.
team, so it doesn't really last that
They also
long.
have Judgment Blade, which
Oh, my god, 3-person
God, that hit
judgment
three.
blade.
Black hole bomb.
my
Oh, and then they black hole bomb paint grenade. Or just black hole bomb paint time bomb. I feel kind of bad for Blue.
God.
I
Insane.
feel kind of bad for Blue. I'm
That's
gonna
a
be
huge
honest.
bomb.
Oh my god, that hit
Black
three.
hole bomb.
Oh my
black
hole.
god.
Insane.
That's a huge bomb.
That,
Yes,
the
yes, it
Judgment
is.
Blade hit 3 people and then the black hole bomb to follow up.
They had like a 20 health payload shield.
Six Slurpee all alone trying to get some chakrams damage.
Oh,
Oh
shoot,
my
that is
God, did you see
insane
that slam?
Oh, Willow going invis.
Oh shoot.
Table Tech Slam. Okay. So, for those of who... Hold on. No. For those of you who do not know, the ability Rage Table has a peculiar perk of sending you up very high if you stand on it and then you quick kick it instead of just quick kicking it. And obviously this pairs well with Banhammer, because Banhammer gains more
Willow
damage the
going
faster
invis.
you're following, and
Oh, shit.
because of how gravity works, the higher up you are, when you start to slam, the faster you accelerate. Now you can also do something like grappling hook, I think, to pull you downwards for the slam. I'm not sorry about that. There are other ways
League
to
on Pro- I think
Oh,
League
go
on-
on
up your damage, but
shotgun.
usually
Usually
height is the
bring
best
their-
Still
way.
next up.
That's the most reliable.
Banhammer duel over here. Banhammer duel.
Banhammer duel. Oh,
Hammer
shoot.
wins.
Ooh.
Blue trying to go for some picks here. They're doing
Right
all
here,
right,
third,
actually. They're
but
holding
they have
off
this
a good
point.
chunk of
Oh,
red,
not.
and that Minnows
Ooh,
is
yeah,
getting a
another
lot of
big
damage
action
on
play from
point.
X-Up.
Ooh, if they can get an ability here right now, they can pick off this red guy, which weakens these two reds, and unless this red person can go over here in time, they're gonna go down.
Merb is super low.
They
Oh,
just can't
shoot.
pull up.
Judgment
Hyper
Blade is
Laser comes
weirdly
out, though.
support with the way
Oh,
it can knock
no.
people down.
And it only gets 2. Bloxicola is the only person on point right now, but they are buying time. They forced red to regroup, which is not actually something you want. You want red to be split up.
They're gonna be taking this pretty far with the fake.
Oh, and they pop face circle.
Not there to stop any remixes. It almost gets picked by Myth. Yeah, Crimson coming out. It'd be really nice to have a Fae.
Yeah.
Red props Crimson Katana here.
Yeah, Crimson coming out. It'd be really nice to have a Fae.
Yep.
Hey.
Ooh, they have massive damage on
Yeah.
blue.
Oh shoot.
They're just hanging on.
But they are
though.
holding off.
yeah.
They are
Oh,
holding
but
off
they're
here.
sticking- they're
Oh, red
they're
pops.
not gonna have any-
Airstrike
They live.
gets
Doesn't
no
get a single
results,
pick.
but they don't need to because they can just follow up paint with paint
Oh,
bucket.
there you go.
yeah.
That's where you have a
It's
big
such a deadly weapon with an organized team
Yeah, this-
because
see,
you
like,
basically
Blue- like, you
punish
see that,
anyone who
EV
plays next
Painters,
to
they
next to
invested
their
like all
teammates.
of their loadout into like explosive damage and just being able to tank. It's really
Right.
strong, as you can see, for controlling the point.
Eevee is super low. Oh, Willow picks him off.
Like Gnome
That's
here is
something
not even
like that,
getting
yeah.
any breathing room to push it.
Shotgun
to
trying to
their
get some value
25%.
here, just
Wait,
They're
cannot
just
get
getting,
close
they're
enough.
just getting hammered so much by just like all this like splash damage.
Right. Oh,
Oh.
Myth gets picked off.
Did you manage to pick off the tank who was trying to secure kill
They
here?
are nearly back at full point.
2, 3. Oh,
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 hyper laser coming
Hyper
out.
Laser.
It's gonna be huge.
another
They're
hyper
really
laser.
low right now, but
They get 2. They get
Yeah,
3.
oh wait, that's
Nice follow
And
up.
can they get
They're
4?
all gonna be
Not
able
quite.
to spawn in.
But still, 3 is
Yeah, they need to
fantastic because it buys them enough time to
follow
move
up
the
on the
point
pick
back.
before the rest of the team is able to
Luckily,
regroup.
they are
and then
bringing
can
that-
capitalize
Yeah,
on the
only they have
hyper
half
laser.
barrier going into
pick
like
over
half.
there.
Yeah, but it
They're
gets whittled
slowly
down
making their way
because
to
they have so many
25%.
melees and explosives.
Another Fae coming out.
Oh,
Crimson coming out from
Crimson
6
coming
Katana
in,
and
though,
Fae.
too.
They're
Six
expending
Purple
all
He's
of
gonna
their
get picked.
resources for this play.
Oh,
Blue
no,
pops
nice.
Crimson,
Gets it.
and between that and Banhammer, they just
be able to
absolutely
push a little
threw
further
Red's
here.
Oh,
team.
Eevee, yeah.
No uses,
Paint
no
Bucket
uses
trying
all
to
3 of the remixes.
stall,
Can they even get
can't
it?
quite.
Can they even take the lead with this
What is
one?
that for like 5%?
They're like
Is it
all
even-
in-
Oh,
Worth?
Oh,
paint
no,
bucket,
no,
or not paint bucket. Somebody threw in a smoke bomb and it gave them a bit of an
They didn't even
invisibility,
take
which
the lead yet.
actually
they're
bought them
still,
a bit
they're
of
still
time.
gonna have to fight for it.
Shotgun
Oh,
almost
they-
gets the
Crimson
kill.
Yeah, and
The
red.
dude's at
Yeah, it
1
looks like
health,
Pain Eaters-
and they just
Pain
can't
Eaters
get
is
the
just
kill
gonna
on
win
him.
here. Six Slurpee barely holding on.
I have a feeling though.
X up is super low.
Chakram is
So Eevee.
almost
Except
like
survived
near
on
dead
1
here.
HP for
Oh,
a really
Eevee
long
got
time
it.
there.
Chakram goes down.
Nice.
Oh, the rest of
The rest of the blue team has made it onto
Painter
point
teams
though, and they're just keeping up the
like
pressure.
back in
They
the fight
stalled
here.
this out. Look at this.
Yeah, look,
That is
Yeah,
some
they're
good
finally
calling.
back.
they've
but
almost flipped this.
they're eating
Oh,
Pain
big
Eaters. They're
judgment.
definitely gonna get their remixes
Or it's gonna-
before
Yeah,
Get the
there
parry.
you go.
Oh, that parry.
Oh my god,
Oh,
kills
they
one
take it
camera.
back.
back.
Can they spawn in and
Oh,
They
stay?
have
it's
1
so
minute, but they
good.
get but they're very close to making
Yeah, they're
it
so
up.
close.
no,
If you get
they
the
get
barrier
this
here, you
point, they
practically
might
They get the
win.
very-
Blue needs a really, really good aerial remix, something like airstrike.
here. They can definitely
Otherwise, they're just not gonna be able to cut
make it
through.
past the 25%.
They need to
but
stall. They
just
need
keep
to
pushing it.
stall the point right now.
But it looks like EB Pain Eaters is having a really solid control at the point right now.
Ball camera has no support here. Big
Oh,
slam
oh.
on Myth.
I get
He
a
gets
slam kill.
And he's able to defend himself with a barrier shield. Gnome looks like they're on track to get this
Managed
point
to
back.
cut down the sword
Oh,
player.
hyper-
Especially
And the hyper.
Hammer
laser.
and the hyper laser.
Oh, shoot,
Okay.
they go-
They get the full barrier. They do.
Oh,
Oh,
40
so
seconds.
not only do
How
they
they
get
40
the
seconds
point,
off?
but they also
They're
get a
pop-
massive team wipe, and that
Going
gives
off
them
with the
enough time
hyper
to
laser
push.
gun.
Yeah,
This is
Ares
gonna
is
let.
so
This
good.
is
Hold on. The shield might be enough health for them to push fully
gonna
and
let them get
break
43.
past.
Let's see how
24,
fast they, how
25,
far they can push beyond that.
26, 27.
28, 29.
They're in the lead now.
30.
All they have to do is hold this point for 30 seconds, or if not hold, then prevent Red from pushing past this, because then the Red's going to be in
Okay, stop
overtime,
Miss Low.
and you can you can cut down overtime so easily with any number of stall remixes.
Here they
No, they might
Even something like a even something like a Superfly boombox is enough to stall a point in overtime.
push. They might keep
one of the
pushing.
tanks
Look
is
at that.
down. Their support's dead too.
They
They
can
can
Blue is
push.
just blue right now
It
is
looks like they're
leveraging
gonna
their
push-
ability to just isolate and take down targets.
They need to
So good right
They're
here.
gonna push even further.
so
going,
well.
33.
Liv comes in,
And-
but
going to the last
Oh my god.
15 seconds of this match.
Hold on.
They need
Oh,
to
no.
get on the.
This is like a
They
really
they
now
just-
have IZ.
That was a fantastic judgment blade from Red, but they just can't do anything with it.
E versus
oh wait,
Oh my
black
God.
hole,
Black
coming
hole.
in. Black hole coming in.
Black hole bomb.
Black Hole Bomb. That's
Almost.
huge.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Crimson-
no. No, that
Katana
absolutely
comes out.
shut down, especially with Slay Gambit
Defensive
and
is-
the explosive
They
damage
got
from
the
it.
barrier though.
Insane.
EP Patriot is going to have to make up a lot of ground for this. And the barrier, look at it looks like
They
it's
have
gone already.
overtime, but can they make it back? They're so close.
They have like what 2 seconds on the overtime clock, which means if Blue pops any kind of offensive ability that shuts down the
To
point,
Knowing how Bug takes
numb
up
the
the-
They're
equipment
just gonna be-
side of the map.
Oh shoot.
They have
They-
really
Bloxy
good control. They
Cola
just
on
need-
Blue trying to get kills
But
here.
here's the thing: is that
Isaac gets
they
stunned.
use both their damage remixes
Yeah, I
already,
feel like
so
they
they're gonna
could've
have a
stayed
really
like,
hard
"Look,
time trying
picks
to
up really
get them
low."
off the point here.
Oh,
What they
hold on.
need to do
Think
right
about
now
the
is they need to
comments.
stall in for remixes. They need to stall.
Blue is
Player
buying
coming in,
time.
wow.
Blue's picking off their teammates.
Oh,
Judgment
super
Blade
beam.
flips
Okay,
it.
Air's still in that
This
though.
is really close.
This is
Slingshot is
another
escaping.
game.
Somebody
Alive right
picked
now.
here.
Can't get on this point.
The
Six
slingshot
Slurpee
can't
going
quite
in.
make it.
Look at
They're
that.
about
shit.
Shotgun
They
is
need to remix
trying to
it.
get
Anything.
value. Shotgun gets
Oh,
nabbed by
another black
Starfrag
hole
now.
bomb, but it
Oh, but
Oh,
they,
God.
yeah,
Then
they
nobody's
got
there.
Nobody. Okay.
Nobody's stalling your
Air
point
is
right now.
there.
Black hole bomb does go down, but
Oh, air kill.
poison mist slingshot just absolutely shredded
gets
them.
picked.
right now they make it
That was their paint bucket.
past.
Doesn't hit
They
the
were about to
judgment blade
reach
on air.
25 and they still
Oh,
got
only person or they still have a top
Extra
half, but a
6
lot of their
or-
a lot of Red's area damage is gone, and they pop out the hyper
11%
laser.
to make
This is going to be the game defining moment.
that up as well.
Hyper-
Oh, Hyper Laser
Oh
comes out.
shoot! Oh,
Here's
they
three.
get it back.
We get the
An airstrike.
point.
No.
Evie's on point. There's a point.
Full barrier.
They get the barrier. They get the barrier.
How did they get?
That's insane.
Air's just
They get
getting-
the
Surface
shield.
is the worst game
I
mode
think,
ever.
I think if Six
Surface
Slurpee,
is the
Six
worst
Slurpee
game.
definitely he can get Crimson Katana soon.
Oh no! Look at
They
that.
have to.
Crimson coming out from
His
Exo.
his own Crimson Katana.
Red pops crimson.
They need to hold on.
IZ needs to stay
They
on point.
push.
IZ,
They've got there's 3% on the payload
the only
before.
one.
They just need to stall. They need to use
Air.
the Crimson Katana.
Oh,
They
Bloxy
get Crimson
Cola
Katana, they can
stalling the
always
point
stall
right
it
now.
to
Red's
that point.
completely distracted. They're going for
So-
kills.
As he's
still
stalling
doesn't
on the
have
point. Is that enough time?
Oh my god,
He needs to
the
get
tank's
this
almost
fast.
dead.
They're just
Tank's
letting
almost
Aizen
dead here.
live.
Another
They managed to get the kill, but they pop
Bomb.
black hole bomb.
That's
Bear shield
the
is gonna
third
buy them
black
time
hole
though.
bomb. It's overtime.
Insane.
Ooh, hold on.
Because we have
Oh, I
it.
saw
No, he's
Six
dead.
Slurpee. Six Slurpee has to spawn back in. All he has to do
He's
is spawn
spawning.
back in.
He's gonna
Hold
spawn
on,
back in
Crimson.
with the Crimson.
Oh,
Oh
wait,
my
did
God.
he lose
He
it?
doesn't have it, but their team is struggling. Hold on. He comes out
Oh,
for
Phase
Crazy.
circle.
Hey,
But
it's
Six
just
Slurpee
a
still
brawl
plays.
on the point here. Double blade from
Where is
Exo.
Six Slurpees? Where is Six Slurpees thing, bro?
Oh no!
Black hole bomb!
No, another black hole bomb. and
Another black hole bomb.
Only six
Shotgun.
Slurpee on point.
Oh no!
35.
Oh,
1%
35.
push.
No.
It's gonna be percent or
Six Slurpee
decimal
isn't able to
difference.
hold
They
on.
get the
Oh,
lead.
where's the-
They're
Team's
on
back.
point.
They have the lead. Should they take it?
Red
back?
has the lead now by 0.08%. If Blue gets full wiped again, they're out of the game.
No
and
shot, they do.
Red will take the win here. But if they can pull off a Crimson or if they can secure kills
I
right
don't know
now,
what's gonna happen.
It's gonna
I
be
don't
game.
know anymore.
I was.
oh my god, almost. They've got
They-
3
they-
near
they-
death. The Crimson Katana comes out. Oh my god.
Literally, it's just.
It's only Avery.
They might take that back. What?
They got the point.
Six
They got
back.
it back.
They take it back.
They got the point.
Back.
Got it?
They're going.
Oh my god.
There's an apex.
But they have to go really far, but still.
If he's gonna get the apex on the slide camping top hat. Oh, another black hole bomb.
Another,
That's
oh
gonna
my
be it.
god.
That's
That's
it.
pretty much
That's
the
it.
that's the entire blue team dead in an instant.
Oh,
An
man.
amazing
That was a
fight
really
for the
strong
fight.
fight.
And
for-
one away.
And then Red takes the win. 0.8% is all you need to win
One
a
away
game.
from two. That's
One away
insane.
from apex.
No A.
Well, overall, that was a fantastic series of matches to win. It was very interesting to see how Blue's more pick-focused play style, like pick-focused and dive comp, had to fare against an area control. Overall, they did very well. I think whoever Blue team was here, really ideally, if they like hard committed to that kind of dive comp, calmed a bit more, so they specifically called out targets, and they also used things like catapult, black hand, what other things, in general, abilities or weapons that really work well with like a dive, especially if they had run something like maybe Equinox tank. Maybe not, because I don't know how effective that is, but like if they had run like battering ram as their tank, and they could really just full commit on a heart target here, full commit on a target in their game, they would have been able to most definitely leverage their ambush composition a lot more, and been able to break through Red's defenses more. But overall, I think simply because of the way that the game modes played out, Red had the advantage here. But that last match, they won by barely anything. The black hole bomb, though, was genius play. Fantastic play on Red's end, because it lets them take their already strong area control and area damage comp, and they just get maximum value of it, especially with that paint bucket. Like, the paint bucket was the star of this episode, and I think is definitely a major part of Red's success. So, anyways, that's today's competitive analysis video. Thank you all for watching. If you have a competitive game that you would like me to watch, comment it down below, or find me on the Project Remix Discord and send it to me. And yeah, the next video will probably be Totally Accurate Battlegrounds again, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support recently. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these videos. I love making them, and I'm glad to see that more people are enjoying them. And after all, yeah, have fun, and good luck in your Project Remix games.